an honor to have House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy with us. Sir, how are you? I can't hear Mr. McCarthy.
I'm
there
here.
You are. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay, but what the hell is going on with Pelosi and the Democrats in the House now?
They are playing pure politics. You know, I flew back on a red eye to have a meeting on Sunday. Mitch McConnell had worked this in a bipartisan, bicameral, bottom up, and they had pretty much an agreement. Now they want to flex their muscle to try to put same-day voter registration, all these union requirements, all the climate change stuff in, and they're holding up and hurting the American public.
I mean, I hope the Republicans are all going to get the microphones and television cameras and tell the American people exactly what the hell's going on here. This is shocking. I've never seen anything like this.
In all my years of politics, I've never seen something this bad, because what they're doing with every day and every hour they're holding it up, they're harming people. They're harming the small businesses. They're making decisions around their kitchen table where they're going to lay people off.
The other thing is, what is this Democrat Party hate on for American enterprise? American enterprise is going to give us the therapies, the vaccines, the masks, and all the rest. What is this hate on for American business?
I do not understand, because the ingenuity of America, we're going to solve this problem. Do you know it took us 2 years to be in a clinical trial for a vaccine when it came to SARS? We are already in a clinical trial. People in Washington are taking the vaccine in their arm right now. It's going to take us a year away, but look how fast we are. And this is the problem. Had China been honest with us, we could have contained this in China. If they would have let our scientists, our doctors, and our researchers in there. Now, the propaganda of China, you know what they're saying? America must have created this because they're going too fast to already have a vaccine. It's because of our private sector that we're allowed to do that.
Private sector. What's interesting, a lot of these foreign countries and governments that have this universal single-payer government-controlled system, they're way behind. Italy, the UK, many of these European countries and so forth. And yet, that's not going to be recognized as a great deficiency going forward, is it?
No, it won't be. But the World Health Organization right now says the epicenter is Europe. And a couple reasons why that happened, because our president, President Trump, took the action at the very beginning not to let China come into America. And then he held Europe back as well. Now you're seeing how smart that move was. But more importantly, John Hopkins did a research a while back that said America's best prepared to handle something like this because of our healthcare system. Those socialist systems will not work. But more importantly, can you really trust the number you're getting out of Iran or North Korea saying nobody's there, or China's number? We know that's not true.
Is Nancy Pelosi even trying to make an effort to consult with you about this bill?
You know what's most interesting? She was very upset that Leader McConnell actually allowed the committees to work on it and craft it. She thought, no, it should just be the four leaders. She doesn't believe in working through the system, and that's actually a better way to do it, where you have the committees of expertise get there. She's holding it up, and she wrote a letter to her own members congratulating them holding the bill in the Senate. And remember what that vote is, Mark. It's a vote for cloture. It's not a vote on the bill. It's to move the process further. And if you move that process further, there's a better hope that in the market and in the decision-making, where they're around the corporate boards or the kitchen table, that they're going to keep people on and not lay them off.
Isn't it amazing how the president is able to work with all these governors, even governors that don't like him and he doesn't like, whether it's Newsom or Cuomo and so forth? But Pelosi cannot work with you. She will not work with you. She will not work with McConnell. I think this is a personality and character issue at this point.
It is. Think for one moment. Think about what Cuomo and Gavin Newsom say as their home state against President Trump. But listen to what they're saying about him now as the commander-in-chief in a time of crisis. They congratulate him. They tell him they're working well together, fantastic. The president has sent 2 Navy ships now to both states so they could have a hospital. He's increased the funding for them. He's worked with them day and night on this process. And they have nothing but positive things to say, because you know what? They watch him as a leader. and they understand what he's doing is correct, but they can work with him, even though everything they said about him. Pelosi will take any moment she can to either impeach him or try to make a political advantage. Why would she be requesting to have campaign voter registration inside a bill to deal with a crisis with coronavirus?
Same-day registration. I can't imagine anything could go wrong with that. Can you, Mr. McCarthy?
Oh, no, and early voting, that's exactly what they did in California, and they were able to beat half of all the Republicans there because they harvested ballots. That's what they want to do nationwide. They want to take this place, and then they want to bail out all those states that didn't pay their pensions. They want to transform the pension when it comes to newspapers for ones that they like. They want the federal government to pay for it. That has nothing to do with coronavirus.
What did you say about newspapers?
They want to pay the publication of the pensions for McClatchy. They want to put that in this bill.
What?
Yes. Have you read this thing?
What's it's 1,100 and some pages long. I'm still going through it.
Yeah, and they criticize the Senate bill, which is only 500 pages. They tell the airlines, okay, if we give you money, then you have to be carbon neutral by 2025, so you're going to be out of business.
That'll
they do
bankrupt
another
them.
$1 billion for cash for clunkers. They require every small business. Maybe you're sitting in Bakersfield, California. If you take assistance, now your minimum wage has to be $15.
Is there a list of this somewhere?
Yeah, we're just reading through it. I'm going to send it to you. They put in the OSHA requirements on hospitals. They want the bargaining, collective bargaining and carve-outs for big labor. They want to increase every collective bargaining. Same-day voter registration. They want to bail out the Postal Service for the union pension fund. They want to have all the student loans, $35,000 of every student loan, or $30,000 I believe it is, to forgive.
This is appallingly diabolical.
Yes, but what they're really doing here, because they're taking every liberal idea they have out there. I mean, this is going to the extreme, but they're doing it in the middle of a crisis, thinking we'll have to just accept it.
Well, I wouldn't accept it.
We're not.
Certainly good. I'd fight it every step of the way, and I hope they don't buckle in the Senate. It looked like Leader McConnell was pretty damn angry today.
You know what? I give Leader McConnell a lot of credit. He's standing firm, but more importantly, he's got legislation that will actually help, and while the Democrats are holding it up for their own personal gain. They're just being selfish about it. They're not looking for solutions.
So you're going to put a list of all this together so I can get it out to millions and millions of people, right?
I will do it. We're reading through it right now, 1,200 pages, but it's unbelievable what they request.
And the American people need to know what they're up to. They need to know. I mean, listen, you're going through a list of things. Most union members, most non-union members, blue-collar people, white-collar people, middle class, lower middle class, poor people, they don't care about any of this crap.
Oh, I know. And you know what else they do? To save money, they take funding away from ICE.
Funding away from ICE?
Yes, inside here.
So enforcement of our immigration laws in the interior of the country,
yeah,
they want to cripple these guys.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's absolutely. Who put this bill together? Do you know?
Well, it was Nancy Pelosi and all the Democrats put their wish list together on what they would do. And to think, you would not want these people in charge.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is what they do during a crisis. Can you imagine?
Yeah. They need to expand the tax credits for solar and wind in a crisis of the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. New emission standards for airlines that require the full offset of 2025. Mm-hmm. Increase collective bargaining. What does any of that have to do with saving somebody their job and fighting a disease?
And you know what? They can't win these issues on their own. They can't get the votes for them. They can't elect the people for them. And so this is what they do. They use a crisis to advance their political agenda while people are sweating it out, and some people are dying, for God's sakes.
This is Rahm Emanuel's theory, what he gave them. Don't let a crisis go to waste. That's exactly what they're trying to do, but they're harming the American public by holding it up to try to hold us hostage for this that we will not agree to.
And she won't sit down with you, will she?
No.
Because she figures she doesn't have to. She's got
she
the votes.
went and put this bill out trying to stop the Senate bill.
Well, shame on the Senate Democrats, who were going along just fine, apparently. And then do they report to Nancy Pelosi? It appears that Schumer does.
I'll tell you this. Harry Reid would never allow Nancy Pelosi to run him like Schumer's doing.
That's an excellent point. Why do you think that is? Why do you think Schumer's doing this?
I've never seen anything like it. If you listen to Schumer just less than 6 hours before, he said the process was working well. They think they're going to come to an agreement. And next thing you know, Nancy flies into town. We have to go to a meeting, and Schumer can no longer be for it.
It's amazing how she has control over him. Even with the Senate trial, she was controlling him on impeachment.
Yeah, told him what he had to do. We're going to impeach him.
All right. Well, you guys keep fighting. I don't think the country's going to, when this is all said and done, I don't think the country's going to be very pleased with what's taking place here.
No, look, the country expects us to find solutions. They want us to – this division has got to stop. We've got to deliver. And that's what we've been working on. And now they're even stopping the process to have the debate. They're not voting against the bill. They're voting against allowing to have the debate.
Just so the nation understands, they won't bring the bill up for a discussion on the floor of the Senate. They're killing it, even though they worked on it.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Even though they were close to voting on it, correct?
Yes.
She comes into town and tells them no, and so every single Democrat but one senator from Alabama, Democrat that is, buckles under. It's pretty boy, she's got a lot of power. You got to admit that, Mr. McCarthy.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine Harry Reid allowing her to go over and run the Senate?
It'd go the other way.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin McCarthy, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you.